website or app that's used by millions of users, it's kind of hard to picture, how do I build that? I love getting to like sew some stuff or watch sewing tutorials and see people like make bad stuff or make bad apps. That shows you, oh, I can actually code something, or I can actually like sew an outfit. Like, it doesn't have to be totally perfect for it to actually be a thing to get started on. Hi, I'm Anna Lytical, the sickeningly entertaining and educational coding drag queen. I'm not in my usual place. I am staying at my friend's farm upstate New York. I'm just having a gorgeous time. I just did a fun photo shoot. I'm coming on to chat about my year in 2021. I know we've all had kind of a lot going on. I feel like I haven't been on YouTube in a while, and I really want to change that. I love coming on, talking. I feel like I get to be more myself a little bit, not the super fast-paced analytical tutorials, which you might have been seeing me do on TikTok and Instagram Reels. But yeah, let me pull up my notes for all the things I want to cover. And this is my first time blogging or vlogging or doing something like this. So forgive me. No, I'm not even gonna ask you for forgiveness. Enjoy it. You're getting what you're getting. If you like it, obviously leave a like, comment. Please feel free to ask me any questions. So I'm pulling up, actually, I've been tracking a lot of my work on Asana. This is like not sponsored content. I just found it was a really great way to like keep track of different stages of my work. I use it for work and for my drag and recording and all this stuff. So I've got all sorts of lists in here. I have my TikToks. So here I've got like if I have an idea, if I've scripted it out or outlined it, all that stuff. I have long form videos that I want to do at some point. My vlog style chat, which is what we're doing today. One of the big things that I kind of wanted to come on and do, and this is more for me, but I think this is something that can really apply to anyone who's trying to learn coding. I have been hesitating so much to get on, film a video, and I used to have so many filming issues, or I would be stressed to write a script or stressed to get in drag, all this stuff. And I was like, no, I don't want any more stress. I don't want to have a perfect script. I don't want to have to record the perfect thing, all this stuff. I did go and get a camera, which I'm so happy about because my phone would always die or it'd run out of memory. All this stuff, I wanted to set myself up for success. And this is something to think about if you're learning to code. It's like, set yourself up for success. Don't try to do too much. Don't make it feel like so weighty that you're gonna like get bogged down by all the whatever around your coding journey. You want to make sure you're taking on a reasonable chunk and something that you can handle. And for me, I can't really handle getting in drag 5 times a week, scripting out perfect scripts explaining everything in computer science, but I do have a lot to say about tech and I am passionate about it, so I want to bring that to the channel. And you know what? I have got this great new setup at home, so whenever I'm ready, I can just hit record on my camera, start talking. If I'm in drag or if I'm sewing or doing anything, I just want to be on here talking to you more, talking about the things that I'm passionate about. And one of the reasons is I keep having conversations with people about what am I doing as analytical or why they should get into tech. And I'd love to go and bring those conversations onto this channel, just rehash them with you all so you can learn why you might want to get into tech, or a common question of like, what's the deal with Java and like how do you actually build real stuff with it, which is something that I do think I want to make a full video on because I think there's a lot to that question. And then I guess the final piece of meta content here is I want you to remember that everyone who you watch make coding tutorials or makeup tutorials, all these kinds of videos, or even blog posts or books, all of those people are not only good at the thing, but the coding or the makeup, they also have to learn about all the video production and editing and social media. And, you know, that's all fun, but it's a lot to take on. And I'm not an expert in programming. I mean, I am a software engineer and I know a lot about coding, but there's so many things that I don't know about. I don't want to come on here and pretend that I'm an expert. I want to come on here and show you my struggles and the way I'm learning, because that's what like the majority of us are going through. We're not all, oh, I know exactly how to do this one kind of lesson and I'll come and teach it to you. I'm kind of in a place where I know a lot about maybe databases, but there's a lot about web development I don't know anymore, or iPhone app development or any kind of app development. There's so much that I don't know, and it'd be fun to come on here and learn it with you all so you can see, how do I learn? I can see if there are things that maybe I know that would translate really well to learning other things. Who knows? I think that could be fun. So where have I been? I mentioned I've been doing lots of TikToks and Instagram Reels, which has been really fun. It's challenged me a lot to have to explain technical concepts in really short periods of time, or talk about technical tips in short periods of times. And then I've been able to build those out out into some bigger presentations. One of those, I gave a keynote at OpenJS World in June, and that was so cool to keynote a tech conference in drag. And I explained different data structures and makeup and combine them all together into one makeup algorithm tutorial, which was so cool to do at like a big JavaScript conference. So clapping for myself for that. Then I also did a keynote at the Code Newbie conference, Codeland, which was a great way to connect with a lot of people who are new on their coding journey. I do hope in-person conferences resume soon. I'd love to meet so many of you in person and hear about like what you're learning or how I can help you. And then another one of my projects from this year, which was like really early on in the year, which was like this year felt so long, was I made some CSS art. I used pure CSS and HTML to recreate an eyeshadow palette. And that was a really fun challenge. I followed, I think it's Sarah Fossheim. They are a CSS mastermind and have written a great blog post about how to do this yourself. But I should come on here and show you a little video about some of the stuff that I've done. So stay tuned for that one as well. I can link you to my source code, and I have a mini version, which could be a good way for us to start out. I mean, I haven't touched this stuff in months, so I'm probably basically in the same boat as you for starting over. So those are some of the things that I've been producing this year, but I also had the privilege to have a feature in Wired magazine, Wired UK, and I did a whole photo shoot with Karen Blask, who's this incredible photographer. I had a hairstylist, a makeup artist. I had 2 clothes stylists come and dress me. That was incredible. It was my first time being in a magazine. I'm in 3 pages of it. That was such an incredible opportunity to be in this huge technical magazine. And this is something like when I was growing up, I would always look at tech magazines and tech blogs. I loved reading about technology and new technology, but I never knew how to kind of connect it to building it. So it's really cool for me that now I'm in this magazine where when I was younger, if I had seen this in the magazine, I would have seen, oh wow, there are all these really awesome and creative LGBTQ plus coders. And I give people tips on how to start their coding journey, which I think was something I didn't really see a lot of in these tech magazines. It's like, we're talking all about tech, but how do you actually build any of it? So that was an incredible opportunity. And then from that, Attitude magazine, another UK magazine, they're a huge LGBTQ plus magazine, reached out to me and said they wanted to feature me as one of their top 100 LGBTQ plus trailblazers for the year in their STEM category. And it's just such an honor to be part of like these magazines, and that people are seeing what I'm doing is really interesting and worthwhile. That's where I've kind of been up to. I really focused a lot on the TikTok. It was just a lot easier to say, let me make a 60-second TikTok and come and figure out how to make like a 15-minute YouTube video. But I think I learned a lot from that. I'm really excited to like bring it to this channel, like revamp and revitalize. Honestly, there's probably so much more that I did this year, but like it's really hard to remember it all. And I think those are enough of the highlight. But as I've been thinking about where do I want to go, what are the next pieces that I want to focus on, I put out a survey on Instagram and TikTok, all my channels on Twitter, and I asked, what do people want to learn that watch my stuff? And I also asked a lot of like demographic questions. I'm trying to figure out how diverse is this audience that I've created, because that was one of my goals. I wanted to bring more LGBTQ plus people into coding and technology. I know a lot of women have also resonated with what I'm doing. It's fun for everybody, really. So I'm happy to have as many kinds of people in my audience as possible. So I put out a survey. I got like 350 results, which was so incredible. I'll do a separate survey video, but we've got 50% women in the audience, a huge percentage of LGBTQ plus people. I think it was around 60%. I could maybe throw some of the numbers up here. A lot of racial diversity, and a lot of diversity in terms of where people are in their coding journey. A lot of people who are new, but also people who are experts, and everyone just wants to learn and engage or rethink about technology in different ways. That's been really wonderful to see. I'm going to take that survey feedback and figure out how I can channel that into different kinds of content that kind of aligns with that. I don't get to talk to a lot of you that often, so I don't know what you know or what you don't know or what you're struggling with. So I'm really grateful to have that information. What is coming up for Anna Lytical this year? We need to elevate. It's like, I'm in magazines. I I gotta serve some looks. That's something I'm looking into, maybe commissioning some outfits, which would be a cool thing to bring you all into. One thing I love between drag and engineering is seeing like these really polished final products and then not understanding how to get to them or how to build them. If you see a beautiful gown, you probably don't know how to build that. Or if you see a website or app that's used by millions of users, it's kind of hard to picture, how do I build that? I love getting to like sew some stuff or watch sewing tutorials and see people like make bad stuff or make bad apps. That shows you, oh, I can actually code something, or I can actually like sew an outfit. Like, it doesn't have to be totally perfect for it to actually be a thing to get started on. That was kind of ties back to what I was saying earlier. Like, I just want to come on here and code and show you me learning stuff and me building stuff that I don't totally know, and show you don't have to be an expert to like build a website or launch a website or any of these things. Let me challenge myself right now. Anna Lytical 2022, we're gonna build and launch a website on this channel. What would it be for? Oh my god, I need to make a personal analytical website. What a great starting point, like a portfolio website. Ugh, why am I so smart? I always want to just be elevating my drag. It's like, I think I love like the dressing up and the sewing and all these things. I love getting to try them all out. When I do these things, I see more places to teach code. As I've been sewing, I found sewing templates, and that was a great way to think about coding templates or different kinds of loops as you're just sewing on the machine. It's like, are you gonna use a while loop for that or a for loop? There are so many different ways that I see the world that I just want to come on and talk about. Maybe I'll do a cooking and coding tutorial. There are so many things just like in my life that I do, and I'm like, oh, this is just like coding in this way, or coding is just like this. The more ways you can look at coding and different problems makes it so much more fun. Honestly, I don't have anything more to talk about. Like, I have more things to talk about, but I haven't really planned any of them out. But I feel really good just coming on, recording this. I'm sure this is not perfect. I'm sure, like, I could have organized this better or structured it better or come up with an ending. You know, that probably would have been a good way to save myself for where I am right now. But I just want to put stuff out there, and this is kind of my first step to like revitalize doing that. It's like, I want to take my own advice for people coding of just do it, just get started, just do something even if it's not perfect. And that's what I'm coming on here and doing. I'm making a slightly imperfect YouTube video, but I think there's probably a lot of you who will get some value out of it. That makes it worthwhile for me to make it. And it also helps me like get through the process of producing a new YouTube video. How do I set up my camera? How do I upload the video? All this stuff that is important. Even if I don't plan out the video or don't have the best video, I still go through this process and learn it again. And with a website or with an app you're launching, every time you go through it, you learn about all those things that are not built in the app. And those things are just as important in software engineering. That's all I've got for you. Thank you. Hope you stay tuned for more, and good luck on your coding journeys. Bye.